to my women, look, stay. Don't go.
Absolutely.
Don't go. Stay. But today, this episode, we're going to talk about strengthening our men. And women, why do I tell you to stay? Because part of the reason I want to strengthen them is I want to strengthen them for you. Real this time.
Yeah.
In 3, 2, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Faith. I am your host, Reverend Jalen Phifer. You guys know him. You've seen him many times. I'm glad to have my friend, my spiritual leader, my apostle, the great, I got to do it every time, the great Apostle Paul Jonathan Porterfield with me today.
Thank God for
I had
you,
to
son.
get the whole name.
Thank God for you.
Put
Good
some
to be here.
respect on
Good to be here, everybody.
Hey, we're excited to have you guys today. To my women, look, stay. Don't go.
Absolutely.
Don't go. Stay. But today, this episode, we're going to talk about strengthening our men. And women, why do I tell you to stay? Because part of the reason I want to strengthen them is I want to strengthen them for you. Because you got some wives out here and there's some husbands out here, and we've got some relationships that are supposed to be fruitful and bring forth fruit.
Yes.
And we've got to talk about it.
We're going to try to help them today.
We're going to try to
all
help.
possible.
If at all possible. All right, so I'm not going to waste no time. Look, I don't even have a scripture today. Now, if a scripture come up, it is what it is. I know them that come with my scriptures, but I'm working on something for Bible study, so I didn't have time.
But I think it's important that we know we're bringing a rhema word. Mm-hmm. And the rhema word is just as powerful as the logos that read scripture. So you're going to benefit from this, whoever you are. I promise you, you're going to benefit from this because this is a topic that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Strengthening the man.
Yeah. And where I want to start in that, as far as strengthening the man, would be strengthening the family. What I want to look at is the way in which that we treat and take care of our women, and not just our women, but the babies that our women produce.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to get into this is because if this ain't you, excuse me, sir, but we have men that lack the respect for women. And not just for women, but the idea of family in itself. Mm-hmm. So we don't mind going out and making the babies. Mm-hmm.
Well, see,
but when it's time to take care of the babies.
Yeah. That's crucial. But then I don't know. Do you really want to get into this?
I want to get it started.
Okay,
I want to start something.
Okay, well, you're going to start something with this next statement.
Yeah.
I've come to know that the reason for that, the source behind that, is what I call the big buck syndrome.
Okay, I've never heard that one.
Yes,
break that one down.
Not too many have. The big buck syndrome goes back to slavery time, when
he's starting something.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. Let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready.
It started during slavery time when the slave owners, the masters, saw how much work the strong black men could produce. So in order to keep this type of strength and work and laborer in his field, he would send the strongest black man. He would take him and send him into the young women. Mm-hmm. And their assignment was to sire children without being connected. Mm. And so he would go in, produce the child. Right. The child would grow up without a father, under a woman's care. And but the woman who began to have a certain type of love for the master, because the master now becomes the provider, the protector, and so she's okay with saying, you can go, who made me pregnant,
Yeah.
I don't need you.
Right.
And so that started this syndrome that we have where we feel like we can go in, father a child without being connected to it.
Yeah.
What we didn't realize, it produced a void
Yeah.
within us,
Definitely.
right? And that void caused us to go and seek love and attention because we weren't getting it from our mates or our children. So that emptiness that was there created for us this place where we now find our men. We can make babies, but we have no connection.
Right.
That lack of connection produces that lack of love and protection.
It's history continuously
Actually
repeating
just
itself.
repeating itself
Yeah.
over and over and over again in every bloodline.
Right.
So what has to happen is the man needs to be made aware that you are a broken man and you need to be restored,
Yeah.
strengthened in your
Right.
word. And once that takes place, he'll find that thing, because what he doesn't realize is that the emptiness that he feels on the inside is what's driving him to go to woman after woman after woman. He's not really replacing what he's feeling
Right.
because that only comes from what he is sired.
Right.
It is the offspring of the man that gives him that fills his heart. It is not more love.
Right.
And so because we didn't really know what love is or was, we sought it in all of our vicarious and precarious situations.
Right. So what we're doing is we've grown up in this place, in this home, or I'll even go as far as saying in this society where it is okay for a child to grow up without its father.
Oh yes. Yes.
And where that brings us is, like you said, this goes way back.
Way back.
And what's crazy is last week we talked about generational curses. And what we brought up is that your children are watching you.
Yes.
So breaking that curse starts with you, because you can't say, hey, don't do this.
Right.
But I'm finna go.
But I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're watching you, and it's learned behavior.
Absolutely.
And the same thing is going on. You hate the fact that you grew up without a dad.
Yes.
But you are so quick.
To make your child and leave it.
Because
But they can't help it.
they can't help.
They can't help it because it is seared into their mind. And then you have to bring it forward too, because even though that was sewed into their mind from the time of slavery, then the government had played their part in it. The government said, we want to help the family, but we can't help the family if the man is there. So now the man says, okay, I love my woman, I love my child, but they'll do better
Without me.
if I'm not there.
Yeah.
So they would leave. And leaving, even though they would come back and come back and come back, what was happening was they were coming back on the first and 17th of the month. They'd come back and they would get what they could,
Right.
and then get what they need and go again.
Yeah.
So it starts that cycle. So now I'm gonna come in, man. I come in, get what I can get, and I go. I come in and get what I can get, and I can go. Well, our children were seeing that.
Yeah.
The young men were growing up seeing that, and it created again that cycle. Now here, it's okay for him to do it.
Right.
I don't have to be there. My dad wasn't there for me.
Right.
You're gonna make it. You'll survive. I did. And so that's a cycle.
And we use that as a good excuse. I made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can make it.
Yeah, yeah.
She can make
Yeah.
it. But what we so quickly forget is how hard it was to make it.
Yes. Yes.
And the reason why we struggle to break these generational curses is because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because this is what we know. Why would I stop doing what I know?
Right.
It's easier to do what I know.
Yes. Yes.
So the families are broken, and marriage is not a thing that's even talked about anymore. And don't get me started on no sex before marriage.
Right.
So we don't mind putting ourselves in these predicaments to start these families. But it's hard to say, okay, I got you pregnant, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, okay, I got you pregnant, and although we are no longer together, I'm still gonna be there for my child.
Yeah.
Because this is not modeled behavior.
Right.
And it is easiest to do what you already know.
Yeah.
It's easiest to do what you've already seen.
Well, it's a pattern.
It's a pattern.
You're falling into the pattern, and because the pattern has been cut and cut and cut, it has become a die. And now, so anything that gets in it is tainted by it and does it. It follows it without any push, without any shove from anyone. It just the men just fall into that trap. Can this cycle be broken? Yes, but it will require strong men. It will require strong men hearing that where they are is not where they should be, and let's make the change. And one of the most difficult things, and to those of you that are watching, one of the most difficult things that we encounter as men is when we begin to try to break that cycle, our women do not undergird the change or the transformation. So women, this is where your part comes in.
Right.
You have to, if we're going to be the man that we're supposed to be, the king, the predominant voice and factor in the relationship. If we're going to be that, then women, you have to be willing to step down, come down a notch or two, and give way to this new man. Right? Because what happened was, because the man was not there, the woman's role shifted and changed. So now she's not
she's the man.
Yes. And she's not just the nurturer anymore. Now she's the nurturer, the provider, the protector. You know, how many times have you heard, you ain't gonna, I heard somebody mess with my children. That's protective part. Right, and that's supposed to be the man. But because he's gone, she had to step into that role. Now, if we're going to bring these men back, women, you have to accept this change. Now, you can accept the change by forcing or demanding the change. Now, this might be a little controversial because you now, woman, have to say to the man who is not being a man, I need you to be a man. I need you. I can't have you just sit here on my couch. Right?
This ain't gonna work.
My
this
food.
Ain't gonna work like
right?
that.
And I'm going to work every day, and I come home and you still on the game.
Right.
They have to stop that part. If they stop that part, then that man will start coming out. He'll be forced to come out.
He has no choice.
There you go. And that's what will happen.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. My next topic. Because I think, what you think? You think we did all right on that?
I think that was.
I think we did all right on that one. We got to stop killing each other. But now look, there's already enough people. Okay, we've got to stop doing it to each other for simple reasons and for reasons that make no sense. For things that won't matter tomorrow. You spend 10 minutes doing something stupid and spend the rest of your life in the penitentiary system regretting those 10 minutes. We have got to be strong enough in the mind to say, you know what? I didn't like what you did. I didn't like how you treated me. I didn't like how you spoke to me. Whatever the situation was that has brought you to this point, we have got to stop letting it take us past where it should take us. If you want to fight, do you. Okay? Get your little battery going on by today. Okay?
But
the killing. It's got to stop.
Well, see the killing as a plan put in motion. I really don't want to get into these things.
I really want you to get into it.
See the killing as a plan that was put in motion, again, goes back to our slavery time, where the strong buck had got favors that the other men didn't get, right? This created this jealousy and a false sense of loyalty, right? So this jealousy would create anger in the weaker men. The false sense of loyalty put animosity in the heart for the strong ones, because he felt like he got to tell. I got to tell. So what was happening was a barrier of distrust was being sown between the men.
Yeah.
I can't trust you. And so because I can't trust you, I gotta watch you. I gotta keep myself from you. And if I feel as if you have done me wrong, I have to kill you.
I gotta get you back.
I gotta get you.
Yeah.
So get back was something that we did on a smaller scale. You kill my cat, I kill your dog. That kind of thing. That kind of get back. You mess with my girl, I'm taking your girl.
Right.
But get back has graduated.
Oh yeah.
And it is no longer on that level.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you scratch my car, I'll kill you.
Yeah. We just straight to the extreme.
Yeah. You stepped on my toes, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And so what we have to do, but then it goes back to strengthening the man. If the man really knows who he is and is strengthened in his own self, knowing that I have value, then he will take and displace his value on another man. And so he'll look at him and say, well, he has just as much value as I have. I can't waste that life. But see, right now we see no value in no one.
Right.
So because we see no value,
we don't even see value in ourselves.
Exactly. That's why we do ourselves harm. We drink until we pass out. As opposed to just taking the drink and mellowing out.
Right.
We drink until we pass out.
Right.
We're destroying our livers.
Yeah.
We smoke until we can't think.
Right.
And so because we're doing so much weed that we can't think, we cannot hold a cognizant thought or a conversation. So again, that man, whatever man, has to be strengthened in his mind concerning himself. If I recognize that I am this great man, and stop giving into what has been said about me, because what they say, you're a failure, you're going to be a statistic, you're never going to get anywhere, you're not going to do anything. And so if I can erase that from my mindset and be strengthened in who I am,
because it's only true if you let it be.
It's only true if you allow it to be. So then it goes back. Be strengthened. Be strengthened in who you are, knowing and recognizing that who you are is a significant part of society. You have value, and you have to take and place that value on yourself so that you'll be able to value others. Men who value themselves value their children. Men who value their children value the woman that their children came from. See, so it starts right in here. It starts right in here. Got to fix this in the man. And then when you fix that, everything else will fall in place.
It's a little far-fetched, but I will go as far as comparing it to the man with the talents. I believe you just preached this.
Yes.
If you realize the potential of what your talents can be, if you can realize the potential of what it is that God has placed down inside of you, don't think that you are so small that He did not think of you.
Right.
When you were formed in your mother's womb,
He considered you.
Yeah. So don't think of yourself as so small. And it's okay to think I'm not where I want to be right now. When you were small in your own mind, I blessed you. But understand that even the small things, if you allow that seed to get in some soil, it'll grow. And the reason why we don't think we have value is because no one ever let us know we had value.
Yeah.
And Okay, no one ever let us know we had value. So therefore, we're just going through the motions of life, never trying to reach the full potential of what it is.
We can't. We don't know what the potential is.
We don't even know that there is potential.
Right, right.
So of course you can't reach that potential. But what we have to do is realize that whether it was 3, whether it was 2, whether it was 1, whether it was 5, God has placed something
Yes.
on the inside
Yes.
of you.
Yes.
And he expects for there to be harvest.
Yes, absolutely. He doesn't sow into us without expectation, and I see it. The scripture says that he gives us talents, but I like to say he makes an investment in each of us.
Yeah.
And nobody makes an investment without
expecting
hope.
a return.
Yes. They look forward to a return, an ROI, right? What's my ROI? What's my return on the investment? Now, sometimes, I dabble in the stocks a little bit, and sometimes when you invest in some stock, the market may drop.
Yeah.
It may fall out,
Right.
and you've lost.
Yeah.
Well, I think that what has happened is the market on man has crashed.
Yeah.
And so God is not seeing any no return on his investment. But something I learned to do is, even though the numbers go down, sometimes you just got to hold on to your stock. You keep it because what goes up goes down, and what goes down goes up. You just have to bide your time.
Right.
And so God is saying, okay, I'm waiting on man to get to that place. I'm waiting, man. Yes, I probably should have given up on him a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm waiting on him because I've invested something in him that if he allows that investment to begin growing, as you say, get into the soil. And sometimes what we need to do is scrape around us and get the seeds that have been cast at us. Some we need to sweep up and throw away, and some we need to go ahead and let fall in the earth. All of the negative things that have been said about you, all of the things that have been said to poison you and to tell you how you're no good, all you're going to be is a drug dealer, all you're going to be is a pothead. You got to throw all those seeds away. And then take these seeds that we're sowing into you now, that say you have value, you are important.
Yeah, you do.
That your family needs you, your woman, your wife needs you to be strengthened so that you can become the man, the head that you're supposed to be. Take these seeds and put them in the soil of your heart. Fertilize them with the word of God and watch it grow. Watch that man will grow.
Right. And speaking of what we were just speaking of, one of the other things I wanted to talk about was thinking smarter. And where that starts is realizing that where you are right now is not all that you can be.
Right.
If we see it in a lot of different cultures. I work for Coke, and I do the small store side, so we deliver to convenience stores and things like that. And oftentimes what we see is that these small independent-owned convenience stores or gas stations, even raceways are independently owned.
Yes.
Even things like this, oftentimes, first of all, you'll see the owner in there working himself.
Yes.
But second of all, one day you'll see one guy, and the other day you'll see another guy. And you're like, but I thought the other guy was the owner.
Right.
And he's like, no, we're partners.
Yeah.
And as black men, what we struggle to do is come into partnership. We struggle to work together. We struggle to put our minds together to say, hey, let's do such and such, and let's take something over.
Yes.
Let's do something more than what I see right now.
Yes.
Let's do something bigger than what we can think right now. And we struggle to get to that point oftentimes because if we're being honest, when you get to the point where you start talking about what you want to do, people start talking down about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that.
Right.
Where you gonna get the money for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we can't do that. We don't have any money for that.
Right.
And it plants a seed. And that seed grows inside of you that says, well, I'll just throw that one away. I can't do nothing with that idea.
Yeah.
But what you didn't realize is that God was the one that placed the seed of that idea inside of you.
Yeah.
And he said, if you just take a leap of faith, I'll work it out for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we oftentimes get in situations where we go to the wrong people, or we get in situations where we don't even try at all because we don't think it's possible.
Right.
What we have to do is stop being so judgmental and stop being so negative and stop saying that things are possible. If other people are doing it, how is it possible? It is only possible in your mind as long as you think it is. Because if you go somewhere and you ask, hey, how did you do it? I bet they'll tell you.
Yes.
There's a guy in the raceway, black guy, owns the raceway, owns about 7 of them. I said, how did you do it? He told me.
Wow.
Now, I ain't got the money to do it yet, but when I get there, I know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because somebody told me.
But see, here's the thing. Now, you've been given an opportunity because you have some knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, indeed.
So what you can do is say, okay, I don't have the money, but I have.
But I'm
the
gonna call
know-how.
Apostle Porterfield.
No, don't call me. You have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So you bring the knowledge to the table. That's your portion.
Yeah.
You bring other men with money.
Yeah.
You might bring in a contractor, someone to do the upbuild, and say, okay, my knowledge is worth $100,000.
Yeah.
Your money is $100,000. The contract work that you're going to do is $150,000. Yeah. Whoever this is, the advisor, that's $100,000. So now, instead of you having just your knowledge, now you have $450,000 of equity sitting at the table. Now you can take that and build from that. And so, okay, so maybe you're a 1/4 partner.
Yeah.
That's fine, 1/4 partner. But what 1/4 partner means is that I'm gonna make more, because before I was a quarter partner, I was nothing.
I was nothing. Yeah.
Right. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna work with this and I'm gonna build this until I can go get my own.
Yeah.
See. So when we get this and then it goes back to what you were saying, we can't get together.
Yeah.
We can't get together. And the reason we really struggle with getting together is because our men have that distrust.
Yeah.
Right? They need to be
100%.
able to look at one another and say, I trust you.
Yeah.
But in order for them to do that, they've got to break out of the barrier of all of the negative, as you said. You know, I think that the negative seeds in our minds are the seeds of weeds. That's what I call them, the seeds of weeds. Now, here's the thing. No one has to sow a seed of weed. Right? It can blow into your yard from somewhere else and just start growing.
Right.
It doesn't have to be buried. None of that. It's just once it falls, it does it. And that's what happens. We have so much negativity going on around us until it just falls. Yeah. And we get it. Yeah. And it starts growing. So we have to come together as men, pull out all of the weeds, remind us, each of us, ourselves, who we really are, walk in that strength, and do what we're supposed to do. Right. You know, I would say some other things, but I think if we just do what we're supposed to do, I think we can make a great change. Yeah. I'm challenging you men that are watching this program, and women, this is being recorded. Yeah. So it can play again. You need to get this to your man. Let your man listen to this and watch this, because I'm confident that he can make the necessary changes to be who God intended him to be, who you need him to be, and ultimately, he may not even know it, but who he wants to be. Yeah. So let him watch this. It's going to bless him. Go ahead, sir.
We're almost done.
Okay, I'm good.
The last thing I want to talk about is man being vulnerable enough to get close to God. Because when we look in our churches, you know, it's some men in there. There's some men in there. I believe, at least most of the churches I've been to, are dominated by women.
Yes.
Now, not saying that they're ran by women, you know, but what I'm saying is the congregation, 70, 80% women.
Yeah.
As opposed to men. And the men that you see in there, and sometimes I do this too, you know.
Yeah.
We just like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe that the problem is that we struggle being vulnerable enough to say, God, take over in my body right now and let me give you the best praise I got.
Yeah.
We struggle to get there because we hard.
Yeah. We've been tricked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been deceived into thinking that the picture of a man or the image of a man is that stern, hard, shoulders up, hands crossed.
Yeah.
That's the image that we have in our mind of men. But in reality, this is going to go somewhere. Okay, I probably shouldn't be coming to these shows. Okay, but in reality,
I keep you coming for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, so in reality, the true image of Adam, man, was bowed down and fearful. I told you it was going to go somewhere.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, because see, when Adam did what he did, right, and the Bible says, and God came in the cool of the day looking, and he's looking for Adam. Adam was hiding.
Yeah, hiding from God.
Hiding from
As
God.
if he couldn't see him.
As if, okay, but think, how do you hide? You bow.
Yeah.
And you cower.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, maybe. You know. So right. So what he had did was actually he assumed the position of humility. I don't want him to see me like this.
Yeah.
So Satan, who's always the opposite, right, says, I'm building men who won't bow. I'm getting in the heart of men that they cannot bow, they should not bow, they should not cower, they should show no fear, they should show no reverence to any other man, and that's in our mind. So even when we go in the service, and I can promise you, they feel the presence of God. You cannot be in an anointed service and not feel the presence of God. But what happens is we hold back what we feel. Yeah. Because when you first feel God, tears will stream out of your eyes.
Yeah.
But I can't cry because I'm a man.
Yeah.
You know, and when you feel it long enough, it'll make you want to move, throw your arms, shake, tremble, do something. But because we have been deceived by the God of this world, that shows weakness, we don't do it. And because we don't do it, God is now saying, okay, Adam, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are my men?
So even in the church.
Yes.
Where are you?
Yes.
I don't
You're
see
in
you.
the church.
Yeah.
But you're not.
I can't find you.
Right.
Where are you?
Because he's looking down here. Yeah. Where we need to be. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yeah. But we way up here. I'm God. I'm a little God myself. You know? And so that creates so he's looking for us even in the church. We are the penny in the parable. We are the coin that got lost in the house. Yeah. We are that coin that got lost in the house. And now what God is doing, this is why you're at this platform. We're preparing for our conference. The Absent Man. We're doing we're hearing and seeing all of these things because God is walking through our garden saying, Adam, where are you? Yeah. He's saying, man, where are you? Yeah. Where are you?
So we've got to get to a place where we can allow ourselves, God, I'm right here.
Yes, absolutely.
God, I'm right here.
Yes.
And God, I'll let you take over. And it doesn't matter if you're in the church, if you're at home, if you're in your car, but when you feel that presence, because you can't take that presence for granted. So you've got to let him take over.
Yes.
And when you let him take over, and not just when we're in the church, not when it's just time to praise, but in your life, everything that we've mentioned thus far can change.
Absolutely.
It can change because he can change it. It won't always work like this, but you can wake up one day and have a different mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's able to move like that. Nothing is impossible for my God. So we've got to get to that place where we let him take over. Because if we let him take over, the things that we struggle with, we won't struggle with it anymore. The problems that we have won't be there anymore. And I'm not saying that life will be perfect, but what I'm saying is that even in these situations, you will have peace that surpasses all understanding.
Yes, absolutely.
And I found myself in that position so many times lately. All of this is going on. And if I told somebody, they'd look at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
God gonna take care of it.
Yes.
And I'm not the perfect Christian. Licensed minister, ordained, all that good stuff. But I'm not the perfect man. And my faith is not always up here. But what I can guarantee you is that every time I've ever said, God's gonna take care of it, he took care of it. I was talking with my family on Sunday. Man, personal testimony, y'all don't know this about me, okay? But a few months ago, I don't even remember when I moved anymore. But a few months ago, I was living in a place. I had been living there a couple years. I was so ready to get out of that place. I hated that place because there was so much that happened there, and it was just time to go.
Yes.
And I knew it was time to go. But God would not let me go. But I figured that it is because I was looking in the wrong place. Because when it was time to go and when I looked in the right place, it was easy. It happened like that.
Wow.
No problems, no complications. Everything came together fine. I had been trying to move for 2 years. But when it was time to go,
Yes.
like that,
Yeah.
no problems, no complications, everything fine. I was talking with my family, and really I had thought this to myself earlier, but I said, I remember when my rent was $1,000 less, $1,000 less, and I was struggling to pay the bill. Now it's $1,000 more. I haven't missed a bill yet. In fact, they've all been early. Because when I think of the goodness of God, right, this makes no sense. I got a new job. I make a little bit more money, but this makes no sense. Because not only did my rent go up, so did everything else.
Everything else. Yeah. Yeah.
But nothing has been late. Nothing has not been on. I haven't been in a situation where I've had to ask anybody for money. And why was this? Because even when it was hard as hell to say, God, I'm going to let you take over. I said, God, I give up. I give up trying to do it my way. I let you take over. And it's like that.
Yeah.
Not saying it happened that fast, but when it was that time, it was easy like that. There was no complications. There was no doubt in my mind. Even when my wife was like, but baby, there's too much money. No, it's not. God got us.
Right.
Ain't missed a bill yet. That's all I'm saying.
And that's where we have to get. We have to get to that place where we as men stand on God.
Yeah.
Not ourselves. What we're capable of doing, but stand on God.
Right.
When the man stands on God, the family comes in order.
Yeah.
And that's what God is doing in this hour. Listen, there are about 4 or 5, on this first viewing, there are about 4 or 5 men that are saying, he's talking to me. That's for me. I want to challenge you to put something down in the comments reach out to Elder Phifer and say, God is talking to me, and I want prayer. And then later, as this is aired over and over again, and I'm going to ask all of you to share it, as it's aired over and over again, I assure you that the comments are going to start coming in numbers. Young men that are saying, it's me, it's my time. God is calling for you, Adam. And I see you in your struggle. I see you. I see the young man. I see a young man about 23, 24. I see the dreads, the braids hanging down, and you're saying, that's me. Right now. Just comment right now. That's me. I want prayer. There are many of you that are watching, and you're going to be watching as this airs over and over again. Just comment your name or whatever you want to put on there and say, pray for me. I'm one of those men. And we're going to watch God change the men in this community.
Yes, sir.
God bless you.
God bless you. Hey, that's all that I have for you guys this week. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. Like he said, Love Nation, Apostle Porterfield is putting together a man's conference.
You gotta hear. Listen out for it. I'm gonna come back and share when it's time for it to come. First part of the year. It's gonna. I'm challenging every man. I don't care what your background is. I don't care where you come from. You can be a kingpin, a drug lord, a pothead. It doesn't matter. I want every man. Lawyers. I want lawyers, doctors. I want every man to be a part of this, because we are going to come together once and for all. We're going to build the synopsis. We're going to talk about all of our issues, and then from that manifesto, we're going to build the articulation that's going to change men's lives. I challenge you, listen out for it.
Listen out for it. It's happening. I promise you it's happening. I'm going to be talking about it, and I'm going to make sure that everybody knows. You will not want to miss this. Thank you again, Apostle Porterfield. It is my pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
We will see you guys next week. I think Ariana got something to tell you next week. I don't know. Maybe not. But hey, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please send this to a friend or a family member. We all need these kind of words, these kind of messages that give us hope, that give us strength, and to let us know that this is not over, that God can still work in me. I love you. I hope to see you guys again next week.